Hello there, welcome to my channel. My name is Doug and I'm back with another fountain pen video. Hopefully this one will be another in the shorty series, as today I want to demonstrate how to disassemble and fix a Penbbs 456 vacuum filler fountain pen. I was inspired to make this video from a viewer and pen friend, Linda. You see, Linda sent me her Penbbs 456 Purple Cloud. She offered it to me because the piston rod was very difficult for her to operate, and she said either I take the pen or it would end up in the bin. Well, we can't have that, so I took it off her hands and I fixed it. The 456 is my favorite Penbbs pen, but I know there are some issues with it, and a sticky piston rod is one of them. I thought it would be beneficial if I demonstrated how I fixed Linda's pen. With the addition of Linda's Purple Cloud here, I now have 6 Penbbs 456 pens. This one in Niangao, Amber is a cat, a galaxy, this one in black on black, and this one, a new one that I did an exchange for with Ken, in Tootsie, very rare Tootsie. Now my back in black 456 has started to exhibit some of the same issues as Linda's pen, and I'll demonstrate on this one. Here is the telltale symptom that something has gone wrong with the piston mechanism. You unscrew the knob and you pull the piston back, and it's very, very stiff, and it feels like there's compression in there. And the other thing you see is there's ink on the rod. It's all the things that happen with Linda's pen, but I fixed that one. So let's see how to fix this one. And with ink getting on that rod right there, it means that ink is getting through this seal. So first we need to clean this pen out. And first up, I'm going to remove the section. Then I'm going to run some clear water through that section just to clean it out. And once you see that water running clear through there, that's pretty good. You can unscrew the nib unit, run some more water through it, and I like to take my ear syringe and just screw the end of that nib unit onto it, and then just squeeze some more water through it. It's running pretty clear now. Next, I can take a blunt syringe and just run some clear water through the ink chamber. I've already poured all the ink out. Let that start to run clear. There, doesn't need to be totally clean. Now this is the end that we need to worry about. Now that rod is still really stiff in there. I can hear it sucking ink or air or something out of there. So now I want to open this mechanism up, and there are flatted threads right there and right there. You can put a small adjustable wrench on there very lightly. You're going to be very gentle with those, and turn the barrel just to get it started. And I'm going to release the wrench and do the rest with my hand. And you can pull the mechanism and the piston out. And at this point, I've got a clear barrel, and I can clean that whole thing out with a Q-tip, and we can focus on the piston assembly. Now the way this works, that rod moves up and down inside that sleeve, and there's a seal in that sleeve. What's happened is ink has been forced into this because ink has gotten behind the piston and into here, and it's been pushed through, and it's starting to coagulate and get really stiff. And so we want to clean that out and get it working really nicely. Then there's 3 replaceable pieces we need to look at. One is this little rubber gasket right here. That is the stopper. That runs up against the back of the section and plugs it and keeps ink from flowing. That's why you need to unscrew this in order to get the ink to flow while you're writing. It's a feature of the pen. It keeps it from burping. So if that's worn or in need of replacement, you can replace that. But this is the main part right here. This is the piston gasket itself, and this one feels really, really loose, like it's been running back and forth and sort of wearing itself out. So I'm going to replace this. And then I'm going to inspect these two rubber O-rings as well that seal the unit into the back of the barrel. Look for any cracks or cuts. In Linda's pen, this was all caked with ink. Both of these were really well worn, and there were cuts in both of these silicone O-rings. So I replaced all pieces. I replaced all 3 pieces. So I'm going to show you how to do that. And when I run this back and forth, look at that right there. See, it shows that it's running some ink through there. So I'm going to want to clean this out completely. So I'm going to dunk the whole unit in the water and clean it out. It's already starting to move a lot better once that ink is out of there. Shoot a little bit of water through there with my syringe. There, now it's working well. To replace the parts, you need a Penbbs parts bag, and it has a whole bunch of gaskets and O-rings and piston rods and nib collars. So let's find what we need here. We need one of those little guys. There's one. That's it right there. Put that aside. And I'm going to need one of these. And there it is right there. Then I'm going to need 2 of these silicone O-rings. And they're the smaller ones. There's one, and there's the other. You can just pull this off of here. Sometimes it might help to get a sewing needle, and careful not to wreck the rubber. Get it up under that gasket and then pull it up just like you're changing a tire. There you go. This one should come off by hand. There we go. And the new one goes on just the same. Just got to make sure you put it on the right direction. These are slightly beveled, and the bevel gets bigger towards the nib. So you want to put it on the right way. There. Fits right there like a glove. And then this one, you just pop it on the end. Just that easy. There we go. These little O-rings on the collar, you can take those off the same way by getting up under the O-rings with a needle. And pulling them off that way. There. These O-rings look good to me, so I'm not going to actually replace them. But putting them back on again is the same in reverse. I put it on the needle and get one side over, and then you can stretch it with the needle. Then you slide the needle out, and the O-ring is in place. There we go. So now we have new rubber piston, new rubber stopper, and I've kept the silicone O-rings the same. Now there's a number of things to grease before we put it back in the pen. We want to grease this piston, and that will run grease up and down inside that barrel. And we want to grease these O-rings right here, and we can grease a little bit of these threads. But mostly I want to grease this rod as well, so that slides nicely. So here's some silicone grease. I'm going to put a little bit dabble do you here on the rod. There. Should move like butter. Yeah, it's moving nicely now. Drop a little bit of grease on those O-rings there and on the piston. I'm not worried so much about that stopper. I don't want to get silicone near the ink supply, so I'm just going to leave it on the piston. A little bit on those threads. We can put that back into the barrel. You'll slide it up and down a little bit. Get that barrel coated with grease. And then I can start to thread that down. I can turn that as much as possible by hand. Get out my trusty wrench. Put it on the flats, only on the flats. And turn the barrel. I'm not going to turn the wrench because that's going to be too much torque. And I only want to make it snug. There. So I'm not going to push it at all. Just make it snug. That's the sound you want to hear right there. Then we can put our nib back into the section. While we're at it, we can drop a little bit of silicone grease. Let's do it a little bit, Doug. A little bit of silicone grease right there on that O-ring. Close that down. And voila, we're ready to ink up our pen. Back together again. And there you have it. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to ring that bell to get instant notifications whenever a new video is posted. And that just leaves it for me to say, thank you for watching. And that's all she wrote.
I made this.